Good morning, everyone. It's 11:54 Eastern Standard Time. So we're gonna wait until right at noon to get started, just so we can get as many people as possible, and give people time to settle down and join us. So again, it's 11:54 Eastern Standard Time. We will start promptly at 12 o'clock noon. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, everyone. We are right at noon, so be mindful of everyone's time. We're gonna go ahead and get started. On this afternoon, we will have our lunch and learn regarding how to read your leave and earning statement, or LES. And our presenter today is Mr. Edwin. And my name is Jeffrey Shallow. I'm the supervisor for the HR Employee Benefits Unit. And we provide these lunch and learns about twice a month. One lunch and learn is about general HR employee benefit topics, and one lunch and learn is more of a focus topic. So today we have our focus topic about reading your leave and earning statement. So with that, I will turn it to Edwin. If you have questions during the presentation, please feel free to drop them in our chat box, and Miss Misty or Miss Lisa will help you out there. Or you can wait to the end and come off mute. Mr. Edwin can answer your question then as well. All right. Thank you for joining us. You can take it away.
Thank you, boss. Good afternoon. My name is Edwin Gonzalez. Today we go, like he say, we go do how to read your leave and earning statement. This is easy. I know for some people they kind of complicated, but hopefully today we can clear all the any concern or question that you have on the pay stub or LES. That's all the responsibility of the goal for the training. Somebody else in the phone? Somebody, I think somebody got the microphone. Please mute your phone. Thank you. The purposes is right there in front of you. This is, we're going to explain to you how the health benefit, life insurance, and all the benefit is showing on your pay stub. How you get copy of your leave and earning statement? There are a few ways to do it, but this is the preferred one, MyPay. So in order for you to get copy of your leave and earning statement, you can get it through MyPay. New employee, sometimes they have to wait 1 to 2 pay periods before they get access to MyPay. But if you are an old employee like I am, you can get your pay stuff out of the MyPay account. Now, when you go to MyPay, you go see something like this in front of you when you open the computer. As you see on the screen, they go have a lot of tabs on the screen. Each tab will give you a lot of information about your pay stuff. A lot of things you can do on my pay stuff. For example, you can view your pay stuff to see what's going on with your pay. You can adjust your TSP contribution. You can adjust your tax withholding. You can view last year W-2. You can change your address, and you can change your health insurance, but only during open season. If you have like a qualified life event for health insurance, you need to do to the employee search service because you have to attach some document in there. Something that I want to clarify on the MyPay. If you are an employee like myself, who I had 2 MyPay accounts, when you open your MyPay, I recommend that if you got 2 MyPay accounts, go to the top of the screen, and where they say choose my account, and make sure that you select the correct MyPay account. Like myself, I got one for the retired military, and I got one for the VA. So every time I go into MyPay, I have to make sure I am in the correct account. Okay? I know maybe you already know, but some people they don't know. So, and they may look in the wrong LES. As you see in front of you, you're going to see all benefits that we take care. During the presentation, I go talking about one or each of them. And we go from there, okay? What you see right now in front of you is a copy of the earning statement. This is how they look. And this is how it's break down. It's break down by the summary on top, current earning, retroactive, if any, because if you don't got retroactive, you're not going to see that there. Deduction, leave, benefit paid by the government, and the remark. During the presentation, I will be talking about each or the 7 section that you go see on your pay stub. The first, we're going to talk about the employee data. On the employee data, on block number 1, you go see where they say 081403. That's the end of the pay period when this pay stub was generated. If you go to block number 2, that's when you get paid. That means if you get your pay stub, if the pay period ended on Sunday, you will get your pay on next Friday. So this is the day right here. It's the next Friday after the pay period ended on Saturday. The block from 1 to 22, they're talking about all data. Number 3 is employee last name, first name. Number 4 is employee grade. Number 5 is the hourly rate. Now the hourly rate that you go see there, it can change between employee. Some employee, they figure out the hourly rate based on 2080 and other on the 2087. So that depends on the employee. Then you got the overtime rate. On number 7, you go see your annual salary plus locality pay. Now, some people like an employee from Puerto Rico, you don't go see the locality pay, you go see the COLA. So in this case, this employee is in the mainland, so he get salary plus locality pay. Then the next block is employee for Social Security. The system do not go show all your Social Security. They go only show the last four for security reason. In this case, this employee, the locality percent is 5.42%. Number 10 is the Fair Labor Standard Act. This employee right here, they got the exempt, but we have some employee, they got the different code with the N, which means no exempt. Number 11, they're talking about Service Computation Day. This is where they figure out how you annually is breakdown. For example, they got league group number 1, 2, and 3. And each of these 3 groups, they earn hours based on how many years you got on service. I go talking about that when we go to the list section. Number 12, they're talking about the max hour that you can earn during the year. In this instance, this employee earned 240 hours, but they got employee, hello, thank you. We have an employee like, for example, Title 38, registered nurse. They earn 685 hours. So it could be a difference between a regular employee with the 240 and the registered nurse, which earns 645 hours. And number 13, oh, sorry about that. Number 13, what they show on number 13 is the last day that you have to use, and that's when you let use or lose day going to be. Like this year, 2025, you have to use your leave before January 10, 2026. If you don't use it, you lose it. How you know you got use or lose? Is when we go to the part of the leave, you go see that, or you can go to the GOBA or what they call betas, and you can see there how many hours use or lose you have. Also, on 14, what you see right here on 14, that's actually the employee direct deposit, where the money goes for the employee. Number 15, most likely this employee had 2 allotments, go to different bank. You can do that. Employee can have direct deposit, and they can have 2 accounts in a different location. Then 17 and 18 is all federal tax, state tax. A lot of employees, depend where you at, not in Florida, but depend where you at. Let's say, for example, in Georgia, a lot of people, they pay local taxes, they pay county taxes, they go school taxes, they go all bunch of taxes, and you go see that in here. What you see right now is this is the current earning. This is what the employee on current pay period. Now, notice that you have current and you got year to date. Current means what the employee made in this pay period. Year to date, that's what the employee made during the year. Now, keep in mind that a lot of employees, when you see this, do not think about my first pay period or 20, let's say, for example, in 2025, first pay period is going to be here because this is start on pay period 26. Most likely it's going to be start pay period 26, pay period 26, roll over into next year. So Just keep it that in mind, because if you made the computation on year to date, thinking about pay period 1, you're going to be off. You have to start with pay period 26. Gross pay. Gross pay most likely, that's it. And we go cover right here because they say current earning is a regular, and the employee working 80 hours. 80 hours multiplied for whatever the hourly rate is, they give to the employee this amount. But you see that the employee overtime, which is 37.88. So if you add 1772 and 37.88, you go get your gross pay. Your taxable wage, non-taxable wage, this employee do not have a no taxable wage. That deferred wage, and you see this right here, and you figure where the $235 came from. If you take it the 181068 and you multiply that by your TSP contribution, which is 13%, this is the amount that you got right here. This is what the employee paid current, and this is what the employee been paid so far for the year. Current, year to date. Deduction. Deduction over here does include all mandatory deduction, voluntary deduction, and allotment, everything. This is what the employee paid for that pay period. What you see right here is say AEIC. I believe that thing is it's already closed. I don't think they offer to the employee anymore. I think was deleted back in 2010. So stay there. I don't know why, but they don't use it since 2010. And then you get your net pay at the other deduction. Employee deduction, like I told you before, allotment, Medicare. When you look at Medicare, a lot of people say, okay, Medicare, how do you get to that number, to the 26, 25? Medicare, if you make less than 200,000 a year, your Medicare percentage will be 1.45%. If you make it more than 200, at the 1.45%, you have to add an extra 0.9%. Just in case you see a person say, my Medicare is not matched, remember, there is 2%, 1.45 for person that make less than 200. If you made them more than 200, then it will be 1.5% plus 0.9%. When we look at FERB, which is the Federal Employee Health Benefit, this employee had code number 4, and this is what the employee share is. And this is how much the employee pays so far. Federal tax, like I told you before, this employee from Georgia, so he paid local taxes, state taxes for Georgia. When we move to the other side, continue to be in the deduction, you go see the FIGLI, which is Federal Employee Group Line Insurance. Code Z, basic. This employee got basic. All new employee, as long as they don't qualify, they will be automatically enrolled in basic. If the new employee decides not to have it, he can waive it. Retire FERB. As you see, this employee's retirement code is K, but that code, it can be different because they got different code based on employee when they employee coming in. For example, this employee right here, most likely he came to work to us before 2013, 2012. Between 1998 and 2000, and then you got a different code, which is KF. I don't remember the other one, but I can get it for you. It's 3 different codes that the employee have. Based on that, you can tell what the federal employee retirement system is and what percentage. They got percentage start with the 0.8%, they got the 3.1%, and they got the 4.4%. This case right here, I can tell it's a 0.8%. When you go to OSDI, in other words, your Social Security, this is based on 12.4%, but the percentage is split. 6.2% is paid by the government, 6.2% is paid by the employee. That's the Social Security or the OSDA. Again, this employee has more taxes from Alabama. The TSP saving When we discuss on the first page, you see the 235.39. This is how much the employee making contribution. Now, keep in mind, this is his contribution, but the government only matching 5%. How the 5% is breakdown? You got 4% TSP and you got 1% for the agency. That's your 5% right there. Leave. Again, we got different leave group in the VA system on the federal government. First, you got leave group 1, meaning that you got 0 years, but less than 3 years, you accumulate 4 hours of annual leave for pay period. Now, that for full-time. When you're talking about part-time, it's a different story because part-time had to work in so many hours to earn 1 hour. But we're talking about this guy, which is a full-time. If you got question about the part-time, we can talk about that later. And you see right here, employee got annual leave, sick leave, holiday, and administration. What you see right here, the 177, this is what the employee brought from previous year, from last year. This right here, the accrued, and you see number 6, you can tell that this employee is in leave group number 2. Since the year started, the person earned 90 hours. If you add these two, 177 with 90, and then you subtract the 59.50, this is how much the employee, because this is how many hours the employee using during the year. And this is 1 hour that the employee used on current pay period. So in other words, employee using 58.5 plus 1, now it's 59.50. So you take all that, and you got 207.5 hours of current balance. What's going to happen? This employee, based on the record, they got 37.5 hours of use or lose. Employee had to use it. In this case, like us right now, if anybody right now is in use or lose, you have to use it before January 10, 2026. If you don't use it, yes, there is a restore leave. It can be restored, but you have to request it. It has to be a memorandum, go to the director and everything. It has to be justified. Government contribution. Again, Medicare, the employee pay 1.45%, the government matching that. Same thing with the Social Security or the OSDI. The employee pay half. Retirement fund, same thing. Now, the first, before I show you the amount that the employee pay, in this case, this is what the government pay. Most likely between 72 to 75% that the government pay for a government share for her insurance. But her insurance, you have to be careful and you have to find out what type of employee that you have. If you got a full-time employee, yes, employee pay like 25, 23%, the government pay 75%. Now you got an employee, which is a part-time, and that employee have a total duty between 32 to 64 hours. That employee's, her insurance is prorated. That means the employee had to pay his share, part of the government share. For example, you got an employee that working 20 hours the first week, 20 hours the second week, it's 40 hours. If you divide 40 hours by 80 hours, which is the full time, it's 50. That means that the employee had to pay his share, 50% for the government share. Oh, went too far. Remark. This is very important on the remark. This is, they put a lot of information here, and you need to read all this information because this information is pertain to you. So, and something very important on this session is your payroll ID number. Every time I look at the employee, when the employee provide to me a pay stub to do some kind of like a pay audit, the first thing I look is the payroll ID number. Hello? Hello? Why I always looking for the payroll ID number? Because a lot of employees, they say, hey, can you correct this for me? When I look at the pay stub, they provide me pay stub from a different federal agency with a different payroll number. So everything I do with employee, based on here, they have to have the correct payroll ID number. If they don't have it, I can't touch it because I can't do nothing with whatever happened on the other federal agency. That's very important to have that. If you got any question, if you got any benefit, anything have to do with us, you can send the email to this. We prefer you to, if you got any question about benefit or you want to start change any benefit, we prefer the employee to send the email to this. That way, to this address. That way, they assign you, and especially will help you all the way in the process. I know a lot of people send me a lot of things. Can you help me? But please, this is what we want. We want the employee to email this to get an assignment HR specialist. You got a number you can call. And you got more benefit, you can go into here and on the employee search service, which is a new platform that we have, it's good for you to have it because when you sign in there, you can see all your record. You can see your salary, you can see telework agreement is there, whatever it is, everything is in this platform. This is everything about the pay stub, step by step. Anybody got any question? Joffrey? Any question?
Yeah, I see one question come for you, Everett. James, you could come off mute, ask your question.
Yes, good afternoon. Could you please go over block 11 again?
Okay, block 11. Let me go back to there, okay? Okay, block 11. This is your service computation day. Now, remember, your service computation day, this is for service computation day for leave purposes. Like me, my service computation is the same thing as service computation for leave purposes, on my case, because nothing changed. But some people, the service computation day for leave is different for your service computation for retirement. It's two different days. So you need to look at your SF50 to see which one is your service computation day for retirement. It's two different days. In my case, this is what we determine. This one right here, the service computation day, this is what determine which league group you are. Again, league group 1, 0 to less than 3 years, you earn 4 hours. League group 2, you earn 6 hours. In this case, this employee earns 6 hours. But I forgot to mention something about the leave on league group 2. On pay period 25, you got 6 hours, which is your hour based on your league group, and you go earn an extra 4 hours. That means on pay period 25, if you see 10 hours and you on league group 2, you're good to go because you're entitled to. And then you got the league group 3, which is mean if you got more than 15 years, you accumulate 8 hours. Again, this is all the information for the full time. When you're talking about part-time, everything is depending how many hours that you're working per pay period. For example, some people on league group 3, they have to work in 13 hours to get 1 hour, and so on for everybody, depending on the league group. Now, the only people over here, the only employee on service computation day, they automatically get on league group 3, Title 38, registered nurse. They automatically, it doesn't matter, they got 0 year, 1 year, if they're full-time, they go get 8 hours. Kim?
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Great training. I was just wondering what kind of factors may affect the difference in your SCD, your dates? What could account for the difference?
Again, on this one right here, on service computation day, like in my case, I start working for the VA on this day. So that's my EOD, that's my service computation, and that's my service computation day for leave. For other people that are working for the federal government before, and they got breaking service and they have to do some computation, the service computation day for leave, it might be different for your service computation for retirement.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other question?
Yes, sir. So basically, if I'm understanding what you're saying, are you saying for like folks who retire, the service computation date is the date you actually retired? Is where they getting that date from?
This day right here, the service computation day?
Yeah, I mean, is it the date you retire or the date you start working for the VA? Or
No, that's the start. No, but again, in my case, that's the day I start working for the VA. Now, some of the people that service computation day for retirement is different than this one. This one right here is solely for leave purposes. Let's say, for example, you got an employee that he came working for us on January 1st, 2025, and let's say he got 5 years on active duty. And when they made the computation, they say, okay, he was 5 years military. Now you service computation day for leave purposes. they're going to be adding an extra 5 year to your service computation date. But for the retirement, it's going to be 01/01/2025. But for leave purposes, it's different.
Yeah, so I'll jump in and add some additional information. So the different SCD, like Edward mentioned, you may have an SCD for retirement and leave purposes, and and also leave purposes. And the SCDs may be different based upon your credible service. So
Right.
your retirement SCD may differ from your leave SCD because the service that is credible for your retirement SCD may not be credible for your leave SCD. So if you do have further questions about your service compensation date, my first recommendation would be to check out your service card or the link that Lisa provided to GRB to see what those service compensation dates are. And then if you disagree with them or you feel like there's an issue, to submit your HR ticket. I'll provide a link in the chat box so someone from HR can review your SED and follow up with you appropriately. And I saw one of our counterparts from HR. Christy, do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that different services creditable for different things. It's kind of complex to really go into this meeting, but that the SCD for leave, like they've already talked about, if you're not retired military, that time can count towards your SCD for leave plus any creditable civilian service. Your retirement SCD is going to be based on any time you either paid into retirement or you have a military buyback that you bought back a percentage of what you earned while you were in the military that can then count towards retirement. There are two different dates. And the military, the retired one, you're never going to see on either the SF-50 or the LES. But like Jeffrey said, I believe that they're probably on the service card. I don't know. I haven't looked, but I know that they're in HR Smart for HR people. We could see all the dates, but different time is creditable and there's different rules about each one. There's also a RIF SCD and there's also a TSP TSP SCD, and there's different rules about what service is creditable. So it's a little bit complex. If you have any questions about what you're seeing, then submit a your HR ticket and that can be addressed that way.
Thank you.
Thanks for adding on.
Thank you.
If you do not have any other questions, I did provide a couple of links in the chat box that I would drop again. One is to a survey link for this lunch to learn. So if you have any feedback, please complete our survey. And also for our next lunch to learn scheduled for May 21st, it would be like I mentioned at the beginning of the lunch to learn today. We have 2 lunch to learns a month. One, a focus topic like today, where everyone went over the LES, and the second lunch to learn for the month would be general employee benefit topics. So our lunch to learn scheduled for May 21st would be our general open house, office call for employee benefits. If you have any more questions, please free to drop them in the chat box or come on mute and ask your question. But this will conclude our presentation. So we will stay around for another 5 or so minutes, just so you can continue to ask questions, and then we will probably drop off around 12:36 or so. Thank you.
I was waiting to hear for the questions, but I will ask a quick question. You hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So if you buy 1 year of military service, what does that mean for retirement purposes?
Okay, you buy 1 year, they go add it into your record for retirement purposes.
So it will.
Let's say, for example, you got 20 years on federal service, and then you buy 1 year of military, it's gonna be added to your record. Now, remember, when you buy your military buyback, you have to make sure that you pay off. They go send you a letter they call the pay off letter. You have to make sure that letter is in your EOPF and you keep a record for you. Because if you say you pay and we don't have the letter, it's a problem. And I tell you this, it's a problem there because when DFA took over on 2009, everything DFA can get to you, that from 2009 up, everything before September 13, 2009, they got to go to FSC in Austin. And that's a pain because a lot of people transfer from VA to VA, and that was a report given to the employee. The employee load that report, and it's kind of hard to find out all the documents. So
I found something here. I found something, just so you know, look.
so if you
How
buy
do you-
if you buy your time and you got the letter, make sure that letter is going into your EOPF and you save it one for you
Something
because
like
you're gonna
that?
need it.
Who do you request a letter from?
If you now when you pay off, that you already pay off.
Yes.
Okay, so when you pay
No
off,
idea. But yeah, but my vegetable soup has little
Nobody have-
lentil, has little chunks of meat
okay,
in it.
I got a lot of people talking at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, if you pay off, the government they go send the letter to you to the non-address that you got in your record. Now, if the address that you got is incorrect, maybe they mail it to the wrong address. Now, if you pay off and you don't have the letter, a remedy ticket can be submitted to DFAT, request a letter. If you pay through DFAT, now you pay through Finance Support Center in Austin, it's a different story.
So
When you
if,
pay yours, what year?
Ooh, maybe 2008, 2009, and I think it shows in my LES. I think I've seen
Yeah,
it.
is that 2000? Like I say, September 13, 2009. That was DFAS. Before that is FSC, and the report is completely different from the one DFAS give it to you, because the Finance Center, Austin, they provide some kind of report. They don't provide a letter. They say paying for it. They say report. They say, okay, this is how much it was, and this is how much you pay.
so
I
if you
don't think they're gonna use the pay stuff.
if you are missing your pay in full letter from DFAS, I'm going to drop the email group to the Retirement Share Service Office. They would have to submit, like Edward mentioned, a remedy ticket to DFAS, or they may have to follow up with the FSC to provide you that copy of your pay in full letter.
Yeah, because
So reach out to the Retirement Share Service Office or the RSSO.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen it on the LES, but I will check, and then if you send me that, I will request it.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat box already. I'm going
Yeah.
the email address to the chat box.
So
Okay,
hopefully
and
you
what
pay that before 2009, after
250?
2009, because it's gonna be hard to get the other one.
Yeah, I think it was before, but I will check
Yeah.
now. I have another question. What do you do if you have a whole bunch of sick leave?
Okay,
Or does
sick,
it calculate? Mhm.
they calculate it toward your retirement. Yeah, you don't have to. You know that's the RSSO people. They are especially going to explain the whole thing to you about your sick leave. Now your annual leave will be paid off to you, the
Oh, but
lump
the
sum,
sick leave will be counted toward the retirement.
the retirement.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So quick question again, back to the SCD. So I just got a message from one of the HR specialists that my SCD was wrong all these years. I've been with the VA now. This year will be 13 years. And so my question is, if all this time my SCD was incorrect and they just caught it, I mean, how am I to know exactly what is the correct date and stuff? Because apparently when they put it in, apparently they were putting it in as it was the correct date, but it's not. And so, I'm just trying to understand if it's incorrect, how would we know it's incorrect?
Do
And
you
I know
I,
did?
she just
hold
mentioned that
on.
it's kind of complex.
I would
Go
say,
ahead.
so if you already have a point of contact, I would say continue working with that point of contact, because if they already review your record and identify error, then they should be able to work with you to get that updated correctly. And we may be just adding more information that may be, because we don't know your full situation. So where we say we be kind of speculating. So I would say work directly with that to your point with your point of contact.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Chris, do you have something to add to that?
Yes, please. We're doing a lot of record reviews right now because of the upcoming changes in the organization. And some of it is the STDs that are wrong is maybe perhaps not all of your records are there. And we can only give credit for the CD that's there. So when you're talking, like Jeffrey said, talk to whoever it was that reached out to you about that and find out why. There are also forms that they fill out to calculate the SCD that calculates it for us. And it will list all of your times of service. So if I were you, I would ask for that form, like how they came up with that determination. And then you can look yourself and say, oh yeah, these are the previous timeframes that I have. And if there's anything missing, then you can work with your HR rep and we can figure out how to get the rest of your records so we can ensure that the date is actually correct.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Any more questions? If not, again, thank you for spending some of your lunchtime with us. May 21st is our general lunch and learn, so come join us there if you haven't joined us before. And if you have a moment, complete the survey in the chat box. If you don't have any questions, that's all we have today. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.